I have been working the body of the step-by-step sweater, and this is as far as I've gotten. I'm actually very proud of my progress. I've been working on this for about a day and a half. Here I have my sleeves that are on scrap yarn until I pick up those stitches, and my other sleeve. And I'm actually working on the ribbing now. I don't know if you can see that, but my little ribbing pattern I started working on. I don't want to lose this stitch down here. Do you see this little guy? Right here? Right there, about to sneak off. What was I about to say? I lost my train of thought now. Oh, okay. So I decided to do the ribbing in the same needle size as the body, just because I don't want cinching at the bottom. So I'm gonna test that out and see how it goes. But this is what I'm working on. I do have Red Heart Super Saver here. I have it in color Crayon Box, which I'm really excited about. It's coming along beautifully. I think the colors are so vibrant. It kind of goes with my nails. I'm kind of a colorful person. I love rainbow. So I think this has been a really beautiful project to see working up. And it feels like I'm just coloring with yarn and I'm having a great time. So I thought that I would knit with you maybe for 5 minutes or so, get a little idea maybe of what you all are working on in the comments, if you're working on anything, or if you just wanted to hear the click-clack of my knitting needles. But let's dive in. I am using the magic loop method because my cable is far too long. I'm doing a 2x2 rib. I think the pattern calls for a 1x1 rib, but one thing that you will learn about me is I am not very good at sticking with a pattern or following instructions as they're written. Even like the pattern called for make one left and make one right. What I did was knit front and back as I worked on the yoke, and I really like the result of it. It might not be as, here you can see the stitches here, and like right here is a really good example of what it looks like when you knit front and back. You end up with what looks like a little purl bump here and here and here. I like those. I think they look really cute. So I think it's just personal preference. Or at least that's what I tell myself to help me not feel so bad about kind of doing my own thing and doing what feels most comfortable to me. I am an English style knitter. I used to judge myself for not being a continental knitter, but I've made my way. It hasn't been too bad. And I'm just doing a little 2x2 rib. It's beautiful out today. I want to get out and ride let me put my yarn on this side. I want to get out and ride what was I thinking about? My Can-Am. So I have a Can-Am raker. And it is just so much fun. I really enjoy it. I used to have a standard 2-wheeled motorcycle, but I moved from Arizona to Oregon, and the roads are just so different, and I didn't feel as comfortable going around the corners and things like that here in Oregon. And honestly, I never developed a forte for riding a two-wheeled motorcycle. I always felt a bit nervous and scared. But now, having the two wheels in the front and the one in the back, I felt so much more comfortable. Some people might think it's a little less cool than a standard motorcycle. I'm not one of those people. I think I've still got the cool factor. I knit and I ride my three-wheeled motorcycle. I am plenty cool. Not like that's a priority of mine or anything. But I thought we could just enjoy the little click-clack of my knitting needles for maybe 10 minutes or so. I don't know if you heard, but that was my partner who just coughed. He has a cold. I feel bad for him. But I've been doing my best to take care of him. Can we talk for a second about how absolutely precious this stitch marker is? The fact that it's a little sweater and I'm working on a sweater just makes me infinitely happy. And I love little things like this in life. I think it's just so precious. The only thing that would make this better is if the design was also printed on the back. It's blank on the back. But I love it for what it is. And I plan to do 2 inches of ribbing. I don't mind purling. I know a lot of people where pearls are the bane of their existence. I don't feel that way, but I will say sometimes the ribbing feels a little bit slow to make progress just because you have to change your hand positioning so frequently. But we're not in a rush here. We are not in a rush. I'd be curious to learn why other people knit. Sometimes I find it relaxing and calming. Other times I'm just mesmerized by the process. I think it's so cool that you just take yarn and needles and you end up with fabric or something that you can wear, and it's just phenomenal. I'm very much, I wouldn't say I'm driven by the outcome necessarily, but I love thinking about the end result. I will say though, I have a bad habit of not wearing what I knit. I kind of will knit. I don't weave in the ends because it gives me the ick. But yeah, I just will kind of forget that I made it, honestly. There for a sec. cat's climbing on my back now. She's sitting on the chair with me. It's actually quite cute. I am so excited to bind off the body and start working on the sleeves. That will feel like such an accomplishment. I am using the magic loop method for this because my cable is far too long, so I'm pulling the excess cable out, just kind of working along what I've pulled, and then I pull it out again somewhere else. So I'll show what that looks like. Pretty straightforward, but I know that magic loop is not everyone's preference, but I have a love-like relationship with the magic loop method. I think it's very useful. I appreciate the fact that I don't have to have a million different cable lengths, but I feel like it interferes with me just having a steady rhythm and building up momentum. I suppose I didn't introduce myself. I don't know yet what name I want to use on the internet. I should have decided that earlier on. If there is a name that comes to mind that you think my voice sounds like, or you're getting a certain vibe from me, please let me know. Maybe that will be my online persona. Maybe it'll come with a character change, who knows? If you say, oh, I think Riley would be a good name for you. Maybe I'll start talking like this. No, I don't know. Certainly not. Certainly not. I'm still just gonna be myself. But I appreciate having some anonymity online. I don't have social media. Well, I suppose I do now. What happened was I started a Facebook page just to join a writing group for people in Oregon who also have Can-Ams. And this is reminding me that I never heard back when I requested to join the group. I feel as though it's probably inactive. I feel like a lot of Facebook is inactive, but that was the only place I saw when I Googled Can-Am writing groups was a Facebook page that came up, and I thought I would give it a shot. I do plan to put music over this so that it's not just the sounds of clicking. You know what I really want right now? A chai. So I just came to the end of what I had pulled through on this loop. So now I am going to come over here. I like to pinch where I plan to pull, and I'm just going to pull my cable. So now I have these stitches ready to be worked on. And that's the magic loop. I'm gonna have to figure out a different camera setup because this kind of hurts my back and it's a little distracting. I hope this turns out the way that I anticipate that it will. That would be nice. Sweater stitch marker. I think it's just so adorable. One day I will knit things that look like that. I'm still, would I consider myself a beginner knitter? You know what? I don't think the classification is important. I have been knitting for years. It's been off and on. I've made socks, a lot of hats. By socks, I mean literally just one pair of socks. I did that. I did the 2 at a time thanks for a YouTube tutorial I found like 7 years ago. And just haven't had the urge to knit socks again. I kind of did it to see if I could do it. But the thing is, I don't wear socks. So aside from the fact that I've already struggled to wear what I make, I'm not going to start wearing an entire new article of clothing that I've never worn before. That's a little dramatic. It's not like I never wear socks. I do if I must, like with boots, but other than that, I tend to be pretty barefoot. I tend to let the grippers out. In shoes, I'm saying. I don't walk around barefoot. I used to. When I was younger, I would walk around town barefoot and things like that. But I've learned that that is not the best thing to do as I've gotten older. This looks like a basket. I paused for a moment to get some chai and check on my partner. Now I'm back. And I think that's probably going to be it for today. I'm going to continue my rib, and hopefully the next time you see me, I am working on the sleeves. Thanks for joining me today. I'd be interested to know what you're working on, and I will see you next time.